Today's purpose was just to see what his health condition is. And these soldiers were ordered to prevent us from going any farther from this spot.
I'm sure you have all seen this picture by now. The senator from Maryland managed to meet up with Kilmar and they were sipping on some margaritas, but you probably didn't see this. The actual president from El Salvador just trolled the entire Democrat Party. Now that he's been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody. Wow, let's dig into this.
I'm here with Chris Newman, who is the attorney for the wife and mother of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And we just tried to go visit him in prison just to check on his conditions. Is he doing okay? Because nobody has any communication with him since he was illegally abducted from Maryland and sent to CCOT prison in El Salvador, which is a U.S. District Court judge said was a violation of all his due process rights. Today's purpose was just to see what his health condition is. And these soldiers were ordered to prevent us from going any farther from this spot. I understand we're about 3 kilometers now from CCOT. And as you can see, they're letting other cars go by, but they stopped us because they're under orders not to allow us to proceed.
Okay, so off the bat, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, how embarrassing is it? We have a U.S. senator standing on a road in front of prison guards who are trying to protect their country, protect their prison system, and now an American senator is portraying El Salvador as a bad country because they're not going to let some Americans get down to the prison system for a man who's not an American citizen. I mean, this is so bizarre. But regardless, you know, he managed to actually meet up with Kilmar, and everyone is only really talking about the margarita situation and talking about how Kilmar actually looks like he's in great shape. It doesn't look like anything you've been saying about that prison system really seems to be that bad when you look at Mr. Kilmar.
Van Hollen posted a picture of him sitting with Abrego Garcia at a table.
I see these pictures tonight, and I think, boy, the party of women is really covering itself in glory tonight. I mean, I don't understand why the American left falls in love with the worst people. You've got a gang-banging, human-trafficking, wife-beating illegal alien, and a United States senator in a ludicrous display of energy is in El Salvador having Mai Tais and Yahtzee. I do not get it. I do not understand why the left takes on the heroes people like that. I don't get it.
I think
he has an adjudicated deportation order, and you have Democrat public officials falling all over themselves trying to get him back here without thinking through the next step, which is he's literally going to be deported somewhere else.
But he did have due process. Everything we know about him is documented because he did go through the court systems. He was stopped for trafficking. His wife did file these domestic violence charges against him. He was arrested with MS-13 members with a roll of cash that had the eyes and the ears and the mouths of the presidents erased, which is an MS-13 markings. This is all non-disputed.
Average American looking at this case, a lot of conflicting information. Okay, I believe some, I don't believe. An illegal alien came here in 2011, and somehow in 2025, he's still here after having been through the court system, after having been arrested with lots of people in his car, after having all this evidence.
Deport him?
He just did, and now everybody's mad about it. How did an illegal alien take advantage of our system for 14 years and not get away?
Now, this is where things get very upsetting, and this is the reality of the situation. This is Rachel Morin's mother. I'm sure you've seen her. She is the one who lost her daughter to the El Salvadorian illegal immigrant. Now, she also happens to be from the same state in which that senator is down in El Salvador. I mean, this clip speaks for itself. It is so, I don't even know what to say. I just feel so bad about this.
What are your thoughts on your senator going to bat for this illegal, but did he ever say anything to you and your family about your loss, to ever call you, ever take the time to be with you?
No, actually, I'm very angry. I'm actually outraged, but I'm too sad at the moment to show anger at the same time. He did not call our family. He did not give condolences. There was no action on the Democratic Party in any way, from Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Mayorkas, anyone here in Maryland, none of the senators did anything to help search for the murder.
Now, the other shocking part is Republicans are not doing a good job on reminding everyone this happened a while ago. This is not like a recent event. So there was plenty of time, despite these circumstances that happen where everything lines up. Some might suggest divine intervention, where now you have the same case of an illegal immigrant from El Salvador, and your same senator now is down in El Salvador helping a non-American citizen. So again, I just want to point out, this mother has been going through this for a while now. It just so happens everything lines up to where it makes sense. Now she can come out to the public and let everyone know what's actually happening behind the scenes.
So now you each have 30 seconds to tell us what unusual place you would want to hold an event. Scott?
Well, normally big political fundraisers are held at big donors' houses or in restaurants and fancy places in Washington. But it strikes me that we need to throw a big fundraiser for Senator Van Hollen and the rest of the Democrats at the Seacot prison down in El Salvador, because they've never had more energy for anything in their lives than these illegal immigrants. And so I think we ought to take all the Democrat donors down there and raise all the money and show them exactly what they're investing in.
Trump TV will tell you that, oh, the lefties on MSNBC, the Democrats, they don't want gang members to be thrown out of this country. Listen to them. That is not what we're saying. Just FYI, everybody wants criminals and gang members to be put into jail or put in a situation where they can't hurt people again. We're all with you there. You can't say that because you're lying when you do. What we are saying is that people deserve the process that is due to them, whether they are illegal immigrants or American citizens.
All right, everyone calm down. I can sense a lot of people getting very annoyed at this clip right now, but first we have a sponsor. We have some good news, a sponsor because of you guys, and a great deal. Check this out. Alright, this video is sponsored by 1775 Coffee Company. Check this out. Imagine winning a prize worth over $100,000 just for drinking coffee. A brand new Cybertruck and $30,000 in cash could be yours, but this is your last week to enter. It ends April 20th. 1775 Coffee is fueling the giveaway, and every dollar you spend equals an entry. No hoops, no selling your data to some tech giant that thinks free speech is a threat, just small batch, single origin coffee roasted weekly and brewed with backbone. It's the official coffee of free thinkers, hard workers, and the Rumble crowd that's more uncancelable than your uncle's Easter rant about globalist and the price of eggs. If Rumble is the platform for uncensored truth, 1775 is the coffee that keeps it caffeinated. Go to 1775coffee.com, use promo code T-SPLY, T-S-P-L-Y, all capital letters like you see on the screen, to save 15%, and enter before the giveaway ends. A Cybertruck, $30,000, and coffee that kicks harder than CNN's ratings crash. Don't wait, someone's walking away with this prize, and with 1 week left, it could be you.
These people received any of that, and many of these people are being defamed by Trump TV, defamed by the president, defamed by Pam Bondi, defamed and being labeled things that they may not be. And in the case of Abrego Garcia, they're taking a baseball hat, and saying he's a terrorist because he's wearing a baseball hat. Who's crazy? Okay, so back to the Hillary Clinton post, Claire. She put this up. I don't know if it was yesterday, but it came my way. Before the election, I warned that there's no safe haven under authoritarianism. If they can ship Kilmar Abrego Garcia to a foreign prison accused of no crime with no trial, they can do it to anyone. Americans of conscience must stand against this now. And, you know, the hope is, Claire, that there is a groundswell of support for our country.
Alright, now first things first, do you know the irony of appealing to Hillary Clinton talking about authoritarianism when she doesn't even have her comments turned on her X page? Go look it up, you can go fact check me, I just think that's comical. Second off, and I will use the word crazy because that news anchor used the word crazy to talk about people who are talking about the hat situation, but in general, are you really considering somebody crazy or questioning their mental state when on the surface you're looking at this picture, this guy is not an American citizen, he's sipping on some alcoholic beverages, everything looks a-okay when this senator was saying, hey, the prison system he's in is terrible, it's one of the worst places you can be in. Again, I question the judgment of MSNBC and their appeal to Hillary Clinton and their appeal to insulting Americans who are questioning this situation right now.
Tonight, we had the breaking news that Senator Van Hollen has accomplished at least that stated goal. He was initially turned away from this prison in El Salvador today, but then hours later, the El Salvadoran government arranged for Mr. Abrego Garcia to get out of the prison in order to meet Senator Van Hollen, somewhat bizarrely, in civilian clothes at a hotel in San Salvador. Now, we do not have a sense of what this is going to mean for Mr. Abrego Garcia overall. His lawyer tells us tonight he's just learning this meeting happened from social media like the rest of us are learning it. El Salvador's president just posted online that Mr. Abrego Garcia will now stay in El Salvador's custody. But again, it is the U.S. government that has been ordered by U.S. courts to get Mr. Abrego Garcia back to the United States. So we shall see. We did just obtain this statement from Mr. Abrego Garcia's wife. She says, quote, "My children and my prayers have been answered. The efforts of my family and community in fighting for justice are being heard because I now know that my husband is alive. God is listening and the community is standing strong. We still have so many questions, hopes, and fears. I will continue praying and fighting for Kilmar's return home. Thank you to everyone, including Senator Van Hollen, my CASA family, all our unions, faith leaders, and community for continuing this fight for my family to be reunited."
I've seen some people look at this and say they're worried that the stance of this administration when it comes to this is that if someone is deported by accident, that they have no responsibility for them once they are in the custody of a foreign government. What would you say to that?
Well, they're in the custody of El Salvador. He's an El Salvadoran national. He was born in El Salvador. El Salvador has him in custody, and El Salvador decide what happened to him. I mean, again, the El Salvadoran president made it clear he's not going to release him. So again, I'm going to go back. The DOJ, they can fight this out in the courts. As I'm not a part of that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. So we'll let the courts, decide what the next steps will be.
Even though it was a U.S. immigration judge who said the one place he can't go is El Salvador. I mean, he could have been deported literally anywhere else.
Again, we can keep going back and back, but again, that was years ago. Country conditions were different. That gang no longer exists in El Salvador. He had been designated a terrorist since that time. 2 different federal judges said he's an MS-13 member. A police department said he's an MS-13 member. ICE data shows he's an MS-13 member. El Salvador says he's an MS-13 member. As you know, MS-13 has been designated terrorist. The case has the facts of the case have changed since that first decision. So again, I'll leave it up to the DOJ to argue that case in court, but that is where I stand, and that's my belief.
Now, this picture right here is an edit from the White House, obviously trolling the New York Times and trolling the senator down in El Salvador. But one thing I do want to say is the most important thing is, as I make this video, it is Good Friday, so we're very thankful to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the ultimate sacrifice to save our souls. Thank you, everybody, for being here. God bless. I love all of you guys, and we'll see you all later. Thank you.